The Free Thinker Show. Ignite your mind, challenge the norm.
All right, so today we're diving into something that sounds like it's straight out of a spy movie.
Yeah.
We're talking exploding pagers, Hezbollah, Israeli intelligence.
It's a lot to unpack.
It really is. And, it's funny because, we think pagers and we're like, oh, that's so outdated.
Right? Who even uses those anymore?
Exactly. But this is serious stuff.
Oh, absolutely. This was not just some random malfunction.
No.
This was a meticulously planned operation.
Yeah, and we've got 3 videos here that we're looking at that are giving us different angles on this.
Right.
Briefly explained, Platzi and Valuetainment.
All great sources.
Yeah, and they're all trying to figure out how thousands of these pagers started blowing up across Lebanon.
Thousands.
I mean, can you imagine?
It's just crazy to think about.
And the thing is, Hezbollah might have actually set themselves up for this.
That's the irony of it all, isn't it?
Right.
They banned smartphones because they were worried about Israeli spying.
Oh, yeah, that's right, they did.
And then this happens.
It's like, talk about unintended consequences.
Exactly.
But okay, so let's back up for a second.
Okay.
What exactly happened?
So imagine this Lebanon, already a tense place politically.
Right.
And suddenly all these pagers start exploding.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Seemingly random places, markets, homes.
The Iranian embassy even.
Even the embassy wasn't spared.
Wow.
It was chaos.
I bet. And you know what's scary is Valuetainment. They had this really intense story about a busy market.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And a man's pager just explodes.
It's scary because people were just going about their day.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally unaware.
no idea about the danger right there in their pockets.
And then boom. So how did they even do it?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Platzi really dug into the technical details.
They did?
Yeah, and it seems like Israeli intelligence, they might have found a way into the pager supply chain.
Wait, so they didn't just plant bombs on these things?
No. We're talking next level stuff.
Really?
Years of planning, shell companies, maybe even a special signal to set them off.
You're kidding me? This is like some Mission Impossible type stuff.
Right.
It's incredible.
It's wild.
Okay, so they get into the supply chain somehow.
Right.
They put these tiny explosives in these pagers.
Yeah.
And then what? They just wait for the right moment.
That's the big question, isn't it? Did they use a signal to set them off remotely, or was it timed?
I mean, we might never know.
We may never know the specific.
But the planning involved is just insane.
Oh, absolutely. The level of precision is undeniable.
This is what blows my mind, right?
Yeah.
We start with these exploding pagers.
Yeah.
And it seems kind of random at first.
Almost old-fashioned.
I know, but then it's
Right.
like this whole world of espionage and
Let's just unravel.
yeah, international intrigue.
Exactly. And it gets even crazier when you remember
What's that?
the Iranian embassy got hit too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the ambassador, Mojtaba Amani,
Right.
he was apparently injured.
Wow, so like a high-ranking diplomat is caught up in this.
Right. And
That's got to be a big deal.
it caused a stir, for sure.
I got
And then you had these rumors flying around.
some kind of rumors.
Well, Valuetainment, they dug into this. Some people were saying that Amani,
Well,
he was
that-
actually thinking about defecting to Israel.
Whoa, hold on, defecting.
Yeah, like switching sides.
Are you serious?
That was the talk.
That's insane.
Right.
So this is more than just about,
It gets wilder.
more than just taking out Hezbollah.
Way more.
Like, are we talking?
Because then people are saying maybe the attack was staged
You mean to
to cover up his defection.
whoa.
Yeah.
That's some next level spy stuff.
Right. Disinformation campaigns, manipulating international relations.
It's crazy. And can you imagine?
It's like a whole other level of conflict.
I bet the psychological impact alone
Oh, absolutely.
must be huge.
Valuetainment mentioned this satirical post,
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that.
imagining the paranoia within Hezbollah after this all went down.
Yeah, nobody wants to touch anything.
Exactly. Buttons, car ignition, scales. Like anything could be rigged
Right.
to explode.
I'd be freaking out.
Right. But it's not just fear.
No.
This has major political ramifications.
How so?
Well, think about it, Hezbollah. They're not just some fringe group.
Right.
They're a major political player in Lebanon.
Yeah, that's true.
This attack,
Yeah.
it could completely change the balance of power,
Oh, I see what you mean.
embolden their rivals, even spark internal conflicts.
It's like a whole chain reaction.
And remember all the videos talk about how fragile the region already is?
Right. Like they're already on the edge.
Exactly. And then you add in the rocket attacks.
Oh, right. Which Hezbollah actually did launch after this.
It did as a response.
All 3 of the videos mentioned that.
It was a direct retaliation.
Even though Israel says they intercepted them.
Yeah, they claim that.
But still there were casualties. So
exactly. It wasn't a clean-cut situation.
not at all.
So now you've got Israel,
Right.
and they have to figure out how to respond.
So any more aggression?
Exactly. Does this escalate even further?
Right.
Does it spiral into a full-blown conflict?
Yeah.
These aren't just hypothetical questions. This
Right.
is what intelligence analysts are losing sleep over.
Wow, so we're not just talking about a contained incident here.
Not at all.
This could blow up.
It could easily escalate.
And to think it all started with pagers.
Right. It really highlights the unpredictable nature of things.
Totally. And like how something so low tech,
Something we think of as obsolete.
yeah, can have these huge consequences.
Absolutely. It shows that in this hyper-connected world, even something as simple as a pager can be exploited.
And in a really terrifying way.
With devastating consequences.
Man, I need a minute after that.
It's a lot to process, right?
It really is. Like, it makes you realize that things are changing so fast.
Absolutely. The battle lines are constantly shifting.
Yeah, and we think about conflict, and it's like tanks and soldiers.
Right, the traditional image.
Exactly. But this is a whole different ballgame.
Oh, this is the invisible war.
Where, like, information is the weapon.
Exactly, and perception is everything.
It makes you wonder, what does security even mean anymore? You know?
That's the big question, isn't it?
If they can turn a pager into a bomb.
Right. Something so simple.
Exactly. How are we supposed to protect ourselves when everything's connected?
It's a real concern, and it's not just governments and militaries anymore.
Right. It's like
Private companies, hackers, even individuals.
they could all get in on this.
Anyone with the knowledge and the resources, really.
So where do we go from here? Like, what's the takeaway for everyone listening who's now kind of freaked out about technology?
Well, I think the biggest thing is awareness.
Oh,
We can't just pretend these threats don't exist.
no, you're right.
We got to stay informed, be vigilant, maybe a little skeptical of all these gadgets we surround ourselves with.
So you're saying I shouldn't jump on that limited time offer for a super cheap pager?
Maybe stick to the landline for now.
I think you might be right about that.
It's funny though, right?
It's
That the old stuff, the outdated technology might be the safest.
ironic, isn't it?
Totally. But it just shows how much this whole thing has shaken us up.
No doubt about it.
Makes you think.
It really does. This has been quite the deep dive.
It have.
From exploding pagers to, like, global intrigue, psychological warfare.
The future of conflict itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the question I think we're all left with is this.
What's that?
How do we move forward when technology is both our greatest asset and our biggest vulnerability?
That's the million-dollar question.
It really is something to think about. So that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive.
Until next time.
But we want to hear from you. Head over to our social media and let us know what you think about all this.
Yeah, join the conversation.
And until then, stay curious, everybody, and maybe dust off those old Nokias.
You never know.